Let's talk about career confusion. Career confusion is normal. I think most people go through it at some point. Some people know from childhood exactly what they want and they follow that path like easily. You hear advice like look at what you loved as a child, maybe your answer is there. And for some people it's true. They love music or science or helping others and they grew into that. But there are also people who never had just one dream. They wanted different things at different stages of life, and honestly, I think that's okay. Trying different path is not a weakness. It's being curious and giving yourself a chance to explore instead of setting. And going back to when you're a child, you know what you are meant to do because the things that you like doing are probably the compass to your future like career. But I think when you grow up, you can start like other things and can start to have other priorities. And those things, yeah, they can maybe lead you to your career. But there's other things that can add up, if that makes sense, when you grow up. If that makes sense. Like they can add up and help you also build your career and things you want to do. Purpose doesn't always mean career. That what I kind of like started to realize lately. When we think about purpose, we usually connect it to work. Like what job is meant for me? What am I supposed to do with my life? But purpose isn't always, oh my god, what's going on here? But purpose isn't always a job. It can be a job, but not only a job, if that makes sense. It can be many things. Maybe your purpose is learn how to connect to people more. I don't know, or learn how to make friends. To create, to learn how to be more kind. I don't know, I'm just saying maybe obvious things, but it can be something simple but meaningful. A career can be a part of your purpose, but it doesn't have to define your whole identity and your whole life. Getting what you wanted and not feeling how you expected. Also normal. Sometimes you want, oh my god, I have to breathe. I talk so fast that I forget to breathe. Oh my god, I have to do my breathing exercises. What I was talking about. So yeah, getting what you want in life. I just jumped to another topic. I was talking about purpose doesn't always mean career. And also sometimes when you get what you want, you don't have the feelings you expected. And I know it's gonna be the cringers example, but like they say, money doesn't buy happiness. And I kind of experienced this feeling, and I can agree, yes. I of course didn't experience it at the level of like, you know, some like very rich people or like famous people. But I kind of understand what that means. And same, like, you know, you expect something and it comes up and you have like high expectations, and when you get the thing, it was like, that what I wanted for so long? You know, you're like, oh, that's what I wanted for so long. Wow. Because sometimes it doesn't feel the way you were expecting it to feel. Oh my god. And yeah, it kind of brings sometimes disappointment. Sometimes you work for something for a long time, especially when you want that for a long time, or you work for something for a long time. And then when you finally get it, you don't feel as happy or fulfilled as you thought you would. So that's another thing. I know I just make like example, like money doesn't buy you happiness. It different examples, but kind of similar, because you understand that maybe that career goal cannot fulfill you. It's not the only thing that will fulfill you. I believe, and the more I mature, the more I grow up, the more I understand that everything needs to be balanced. I just said the more I grew up, and I thought I should say the more I'm getting old, because I'm not a child anymore, whatever. So what I learned is you need to have everything balanced. So only career will not make you fulfilled. Only having this will not make you fulfilled. Like good relationships will make you fulfilled. Maybe, not always, but maybe romantic relationships. It depends what you choose in life, and that's totally okay. You don't need romantic relationships to be fulfilled, but you definitely need some connection. I believe personally, I'm someone who needs connections. I know how to spend time by myself. I spend a lot of time by myself. I love spending time by myself, and everyone should learn that too. But having connections, I cannot with this. But having connections makes me fulfill. Having meaningful connections with other people, with like making friendships, makes me fulfill. I know I'm a very ambitious person. I want to have a very successful career. I'm working on it. But I know it's not the only thing that will make me fulfill and will make me happy in life. There is so much other things and aspects, like the whole, there's like a whole wheel that needs to be nourished. There's also a lot of internal work that bring peace and fulfillment, and like not fulfillment but bring peace and whatever. Like we're talking about career, so I just want to say that there is not only career. It's not your only purpose. Maybe like your purpose not only to be successful in your career and that's it. Like that sounds stupid if you think about it. So what I was talking about, I'm getting back. Sometimes you work for something for a long time, and when you finally get it, you don't feel as happy as or fulfilled as you thought you would. And I was trying to kind of explain it. Oh my god, can I speak? So yeah, you start questioning everything. Do I really want this? Was this dream even mine? Why I'm not excited anymore? People don't talk about this much, but it happens a lot. Achievements come with responsibility, stress, pressure, and you might not expect that part. Even when you love what you do, there will be difficult days. Loving your work doesn't mean it's always easy. So that's a side note. Another thing is changing careers more than once doesn't mean you are lost or you're doing something wrong or it's not acceptable. If you tried multiple things and nothing feels right, it doesn't automatically mean something is wrong with you. And that's probably also the bad formulation, but it might just mean you're still learning about yourself. And that's not a bad thing. But it can also be useful to ask yourself honestly, why do I keep changing directions? If it's a lot. Am I scared of failing? Is what I want maybe less stable or harder to achieve? Do I feel unsupported? and so other many questions that you can ask yourself. There is usually a deeper reason, and understanding it helps more than judging yourself for it. But changing careers, if you can, oh my god, that's like experimenting with what you actually want to do and not being stuck in one place just because you think it's better. It's never better. In a way that if you don't want to be there and you don't feel happy and fulfilled and just forcing yourself because it's better in terms of like status or whatever, in my opinion, I think it's better to take time and try different things to find what is best for you. But again, asking yourself those questions and being more aware, also I think an incredible thing to understand yourself more and also guide yourself with those questions. Another thing, environment and support matter a lot. If you grew up in a place where your interests were not supported, or where you were pushed towards a safe career, so many people I think were in that place, it's harder to trust your own choices as an adult. Following your own path without applause, without approval, without someone telling you yes, do it, that requires strength, it's not always an easy road, and people don't always realize that when you're doing it alone and you have no one to support you and no one who understands what you want to do, that can be harder. But it doesn't mean, again, that it's impossible, although it can be very hard. But finding support somewhere else, maybe if it's not your family, maybe your friends or your therapist or whoever, can be a very it can help a lot. Growing up can change what you want. Sometimes the things we wanted when we were younger, that what I talked about a little bit earlier, I touched this topic a little. So sometimes the things we wanted when we were younger come from wanting approval. Status, recognition, for example, wanting to be a singer. I don't know how to sing. I wanted to be a singer. I am an artistic person. I would not call myself that because I don't have actual like artistic talents. But I wanted to sing, and especially in my teen years, when I was like 10, 11, I started to have this desire. I think it was from maybe more pure intentions, but when I was like 12, 13, it was literally for approval, for fame, because lack of love, and I wanted to have that love from fame, whatever I was dreaming. And later, when we mature, we look at things differently. We start thinking about how a job actually feels. Does it drain us or give us energy? Does it affect our mental health? Do we feel like ourselves in it? That's what I'm thinking about right now. I wasn't thinking about it when I was younger, but when you grow up and you become more aware, I think you take those things, you count those things. Dreams can change as you change. It doesn't mean you betrayed, although it can feel like it, but it doesn't mean you betrayed your younger self. You can still care about something without wanting it as a career anymore. Different periods of life brings different priorities, and that's normal. I can still learn how to think. Yeah. But it doesn't mean I want that as my career anymore. But I can have it as a hobby, as something I like to do. Sometimes, another thing, when we burn out, sometimes confusion is burnout. If everything feels wrong and heavy, sometimes it's not because you choose the wrong path. You might just be tired. When you rest, when you bring more balance into your life, things feel clear. You can finally see whatever you actually dislike, your work, or if your mindset, or if your mind just needed a break. Both outcomes are valid. So, oh my, I jumped again to another topic so quickly. So I'm gonna talk about burning out. Sometimes we think we don't want to do that anymore, and it's not because we don't want to do that anymore. Actually, because we are tired, we need a rest, we worked so much, or I don't know, maybe sometimes if you're starting your own business and you don't see results for a long time, and you burn yourself out because like I need to work to make this work, and then in the end you feel like you don't want it anymore. Knowing how to separate those feelings and understand, is it because I'm tired, and if I'm gonna take like a week off, or whatever time I need off and whatever time I can take off, how am I gonna feel about it? That's gonna show you, do you want to still do it or not? Or if you cannot take a break, maybe trying to find some ways how to relax a little bit more during the work, like have some nice moments, watch something you like, go somewhere you like, just to balance it out a little bit so it feels less heavier. That can also help you to see if you actually want to do that and keep doing it, and you just burn out and you need a rest, or you are not sure anymore. But usually it doesn't happen like very, oh, how do you say it in English? It lingers to that, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't happen in just one moment, 1 second. Like if it's something you don't want to do anymore, it lingers. And the last thing I wanted to say, changing your mind is allowed, and it actually connected with confusion or burnout. Do you actually want to continue or not? And if not, you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to shift, to redirect, to start over, and I believe in that. It's so much better than staying stuck in the place you don't like. Even if you studied for years, even if people expect something else from you, knowledge and experience are never wasted. I think, like, my personal opinion. Changing careers, changing dreams, changing what you want, it's part of growing up and getting to know yourself better. And it's normal and it's so common, and I don't know why so many people don't see it as normal. But yeah, I think it's completely okay to take your time to understand what you want to do, change your careers, change your opinions, take time to reflect and not jump to conclusions, and like I said, maybe take time to rest to understand what is really going on. Changing the way you work, maybe, because yeah, you like this job but you don't like the way everything's structured and the way you work, and especially if you work for yourself or you have more flexibility to change it, you can see how can you work in different ways so it suits you better, it works better for you, in the same time keeping the job you like. So there is so much more to say about this topic. It can be expanded so much more. I think I just made a very short video for this topic. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you have any thoughts on this topic? And yeah, thank you, and I will see you soon.